The time is just gone 9:39 a.m. as we continue with the show this morning. We are now going to be joined by DA spokesperson on education, Dr. Imran Keeka. We're talking about a gun-toting Durban teacher who could face criminal charges for bringing a firearm to school, and more worst, accused of pointing a firearm at pupils. Dr. Imran Keeka, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you, and Jazakallah khairan for your time.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for the opportunity, Brother Inayat. I'm in Richards Bay today. We are here for Workers' Parliament, and Jazakallah for the opportunity, and greetings to your viewers and listeners.
Yes, now I see you've made a statement regarding this incident that has taken place with regard to this gun toting teacher in Durban. You are saying that the MEC needs to treat this matter with the seriousness it deserves. What do we know about this incident, Dr. Imran?
So, initially, I had received a complaint from a parent regarding what was going on at the school. And it's actually quite shocking. I had to think twice before I said, that this is a real incident, because it is absolutely bizarre that, or beyond imagination, actually, that you would think that there is a teacher that takes a gun to a classroom, and then uses it to silence and discipline learners. I mean, this is absolutely shocking and certainly most condemnable. So what happened was, once we received this complaint, we had raised it with the office of the MEC, asking that this educator be removed from the premises, not only because schools are gun-free zones, but that this is a danger to the lives of the learners. And Alhamdulillah, what we are aware of is that that educator has since been suspended. And then, we hope that not only is there an internal investigation, but that there is an external investigation through SAPS to ensure that this educator is charged for pointing a firearm at learners. And of course, the legal process must then follow.
Yes, and I think apart from just pointing the firearm, we know that schools are gun-free zones, and we know in this case we've heard that the educator is a female. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, but at the end of the day, it is the incident that is viewed in a very, very serious light. And I'm sure parents are equally concerned, Dr. Imran, that this incident had taken place, and more importantly, for the safety of the children. Yes, I think you just froze there slightly. I'm not too sure whether you heard my question, Dr. Imran.
Actually, I didn't hear it. Can you please just repeat it?
What I'm saying is, I'm sure the parents are highly
I
concerned that this incident has taken place. And the fact of the matter is, apart from just pointing the gun, bringing a gun to the school, bringing a firearm to the school, that alone is problematic.
Correct. I can I can be rest assured that the learners are highly traumatized by this. I mean, if I was a parent, Brother United, or anybody else for that matter, who had a young learner in a classroom, this is second to school, you can well imagine what the condition in the classroom must be. And as I said in the statement that I had received, that this kind of insanity cannot be acceptable in a classroom. I don't know what else to call it, except that it might be, that there needs to be an assessment of this educator to determine whether, she indeed does have some sort of a psychiatric disorder to be coming into the classroom. So all these kinds of things need to be assessed. Parents obviously must be concerned, up in arms, if I can use the pun. But if the reality is that nobody can be comfortable knowing that their children go to school to be in a safe environment which is gun free or weapon free, and then find out that the very person that is charged to ensure that the learners and children that they send their loved ones to for the entire day are kept safe. So this is a problem, and hopefully, not just stern action will be taken place, but I believe that going forward, there is no place for such an educator in the Department of Education at all. Of course, that outcome must follow through a due and legal process if it is so determined.
Well, I'm sure it will, but also I think of concern is when we have people who are put in a position of trust, those who you entrust with the safety of your children, are the same ones, and like in this case here, endangering their safety and their lives as well.
Absolutely correct. And unfortunately, many incidents of corporal punishment, this is an extreme case of what that might be, are taking place in our schools, unfortunately, without much consequence. Many of the educators, we find that, in one of the schools that I visited in the Zululand district, we found one learner that was beaten to a pulp, beaten unconscious, and that educator continued to be on the premises for over a year until action was taken, or until we got there, for that matter. So we have a wide range of things that occur in our schools, and unfortunately, sometimes the department is a little bit too slow. And the reality is that learners go there to learn and not to be tortured. And I'm using the word in these instances with great caution, because if it is not anything else, then this is exactly what is happening to learners.
Well, Dr. Imran Kika, we definitely going to follow developments and let's see about the outcome. And I just seen a quick question before we take leave of you. It says, "What about the case when learners are compromising the safety of the teacher?"
100%. This is an increasing problem in our schools, where learner on teacher violence is taking place. But that doesn't mean that educators can carry firearms into schools. Certainly, we find incidents where learners are also taking weapons onto school premises, and this is speaks directly to the school safety program that is quite lacking in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We find learners taking all kinds of things there. So there's also parent on teacher assaults that take place in school. We visited the school in Stanger recently. Last week, we visited the school there, where we found parents that came onto the premises and beat up a teacher. So all kinds of incidents take place at schools. And of course, whilst this incident is particularly related to a teacher taking a gun to school, there can absolutely be no justification for the other incidents that take place, such as teacher on learner violence. That too must be
Well,
condemned.
Jazakallah once again, as always, for your time, for coming out, talking to us. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah, and we wish you well, Dr. Imran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Allah,
barakatuh.
Allah Ta'ala accept your du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Yes, Dr. Imran Keeka joining us this morning, the DA spokesperson on education against the background of violence at school, and in this case, teacher responsible, but all round, as Dr. Keeka mentioned, learner on teacher violence, that is not acceptable, and also where parents basically get involved. We are going to go for a break, and when we come back, it is Zakir Daud. We're talking UEFA, we're talking the Champions League final.